What's the deal? DJ Hazmat here,
Yeah, and I'm Matty Wills.
and welcome to the post-game edition of Mad Sports. Browns lose to the Ravens 16-10 in a just a ugly. What happened in the first half continued in the second half. I don't even really know what to say about this game. It was just ugly,
Top to bottom.
Just
Well, not top to bottom, but offensively, yeah, it was terrible.
I mean, offensively, yes, terrible on both sides of the ball, both teams. Like it's just not. I don't know, man. I'm disappointed. I don't really know where to lay all the blame on this game, but if you feel like you have a direction you want to go in, go right ahead, sir.
My first thing is probably it's the elephant in the room. Your quarterback doesn't appear
The
to be
elephant in the room. What's the elephant in the room?
is that your quarterback doesn't appear to
Oh, here we
be
go.
capable right now. He's hurt, he's inaccurate. I mean, when you look at his numbers on the day, and I jumped off it because there's another point that I want to make, but I'll bring him up real soon. I think he was under 50% or right around 50% of his passes being completed. There were a lot of drop balls. There were a lot of contested passes, balls thrown in areas where receivers absolutely didn't have a chance, balls thrown in areas where receivers just dropped the ball. I mean, the first pass on that final drive, Jarvis Landry, was a back shoulder throw that he had to stop on a dime, but he got his hands on the ball, catch the ball. Jarvis had his best game of the season, but I mean, offensively, it just wasn't there. The Ravens overloaded the box. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, neither one of them really got a rhythm going today. I think they both averaged around 2 yards a carry, which is not good at all, especially for a team that came into the game leading the league in rushing, averaging over 5.5 yards a carry. Top to bottom, offensively, this was a ish show. Defensively, 4 interceptions. You held the team to 16 points at home. I don't know what else you can ask for from your defense, but offensively, this was just a horrible display. And they got a bye week to figure it out because they're gonna play the same team again 2 weeks from today. So I don't know. That's where I'm at with it, man. What did you think? What did you see?
Well, yes, our offense did struggle in certain circumstances and situations. And what I've been talking about probably for a few weeks now is play calling in situations. Situational play calling is what I fall back on because though the running game didn't work, there were ways to make it work. Like a good coach isn't just going to abandon the threat of a running game. You're going to use it to your advantage. If they're selling out to stop the run, then to me, all day until they stop it, I'm going to play action pass you to death. They're lining Baker up with empty backfield sets,
He
obvious
also did a
passing
fair amount
play.
of play action passes, though. He did a fair amount of that today as well. It's not like he didn't do it a lot. They did it every possession. It seems like they did it at least once or twice.
Well, I'll tell you this, Baker threw the ball 37 times. There were
Yes.
20 rushing attempts by Kareem Hunt. I mean, no, 7 rushing attempts by Kareem Hunt for 20 yards, 8 rushing attempts from Nick Chubb. Okay.
Yes.
So what is that? 15 altogether to 37 passes. Now I know
Mhm.
that the Baltimore Ravens were forcing you to get into and in that first drive, Baker was hitting people going down the field. I mean, the drops in this game, in my opinion, Matty Wills, and I know people like to bang on Baker Mayfield. And was he perfect in this game? No. But it's kind of difficult when your receivers are failing you. When you're putting the ball in the breadbasket of Felton on a sure first down and
Why was
it
Felton in the
bounces off
game
of his chest.
at that point?
Huh?
Why was Felton in the game?
Regardless of if he was in the game
No,
or
I
not,
understand
the
that. I get.
ball went to him
Yeah, you're
and it
right.
hit him in between the 2 and the 5, and it bounced off of his chest. Hooper dropping
Well, we didn't
passes.
have 20 drops though, Has.
I didn't say 20
Will be
drops,
my
but the
only
drops.
refute. He had
Yeah,
20
but I mean,
incompletions,
but I
and
mean,
20 of them wasn't drops. It would be my only refute today.
listen, you want to refute
Yeah.
when receivers are dropping the ball in crucial
All I'm
situations
saying is that they didn't have
because it doesn't
20
lend
drops.
to the listen. We had a quarterback on the other side of the ball that had a horrible game.
Yeah.
His game was much worse than what Baker Mayfield was doing. Lamar Jackson, the pride of Lamar Jackson is he won an MVP. He won an MVP. Great. How did he look today? Like shit. Okay.
I don't think you can say he looked like
he looked like shit.
Okay. Throwing the ball, but let's not forget he also had 68 yards on the ground.
Listen, that's all he got.
Wait, did Baker have 68 yards on the ground?
So Baker
not
don't run around like Lamar. He's limping in the first quarter.
Okay.
Stop that, Matt Wills. You had your chance.
It's not comparing.
You had your chance.
It's not
comparing. No. Don't give me that Baker Mayfield was the problem in this. Was the only problem in this game when there was a quarterback on the other side of the field having the worst game of his life.
You're getting angry. We scored 10 points. All I'm saying is the quarterback of the team who scored 10 points, the quarterback of the team who got the ball back with 2 minutes left that needed 6 points. So
therefore, he had a better
incompletions in a row.
You're right.
The quarterback of that team was the worst player on the field today. And if you don't see that, I don't know what game you were watching. That's all that I'm saying.
What did you say?
He was the worst player on the field today.
Who?
Baker Mayfield. What do you mean? Were you watching the game? He had 20 incompletions. 20 of them were not drops. Were there some drops in there? Sure. But at the end of the day, your quarterback who is forcing himself onto the field when everybody that's watching knows that he probably should be sitting down is incapable of leading this team right now. Let me give you some scores, from this offense over the last few weeks. Okay? So since we scored 42 in a loss against the Chargers all the way back on October 10th, this offense has put up 14 points, 17 points, 10 points, 41 in Cincy, 7, 10, 10. If you ain't blaming the quarterback for that, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing.
I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about the game that just happened.
Yeah, I'm also talking about a trend. This was another 10-point offensive display, and your defense took the ball away from the other team 4 times, and you got 10 points. And you're sitting up here acting like we can't blame the quarterback. What are you talking about? Who do we blame then? Who do we blame if we're not going to blame? You can only blame the scheme so much. You have to have execution. And when your quarterback is throwing 50% completion rate, you're not executing. So it doesn't matter what they call if they're not going to execute it. That's all I'm saying, man. Just absolving Baker, I'm over it. I'm over it. He ain't that good. He not. Maybe next year when he's healthier, he'll be better. Right now, he's not that good. Explain why he's good. Are you frozen? What are you doing?
No, I'm just saying this conversation is pointless. So keep talking.
I'm done. I've made my point, bro.
You haven't really made a point.
Okay.
You know, on a day when the receivers failed him over and over again, Baker was the worst player on the field. When Lamar Jackson threw 4 interceptions, Baker Mayfield was the worst player on the field. I'm done with this conversation. Okay. You hate Baker. And it's all on Baker whenever we lose, regardless if his receivers fail him in crucial situations. And the other quarterback was far worse.
You keep comparing him. This is the thing, though. You can't compare him to Lamar because they don't play against each other one-on-one. Lamar is playing against the Browns defense, and Baker is playing against
Lamar Jackson.
And Baker is playing
quarterbacks, and you can't compare quarterbacks. Okay.
Yeah. My
Because
point is
we've
is that
never compared Baker to a quarterback before.
my point is that Baker plays against the Ravens defense, right? So he has to figure out what's going to happen to make his offense be successful against the Ravens defense. He can't think about Lamar Jackson. Lamar is thinking about his own thing.
But when he
And
puts
when
it
Lamar
on
throws
when he
for
puts it on a receiver's hands and they
wow.
drop the
Okay, so how
ball,
many drops do you think we had?
about 5.
Okay, so there were 20 incompletions. So explain the other 15.
Okay, so but if
And I don't even
the
think we had
drops don't
5
happen,
because every time
the drops kill drives, Matty Wills.
yeah, but every time a ball hits a receiver in the hands, it's not automatically attributed to be a drop. It's not always a drop. The ball has
Who is
to be
Tamika
catchable.
Rashid?
The
Is
ball
she a
can be
Browns
knocked
fan?
out of their hands.
Who
I
is
don't know,
Tamika
man.
Rashid?
I don't. She's a fan.
It doesn't matter if he won. The
Thank you,
boy played
Tamika.
terrible.
Thank
Lamar
you, Tamika,
Jackson
for
played terrible.
for
When you
watching
throw
us
4,
today.
if Baker Mayfield threw 4
Look at what you're
interceptions in a
arguing about.
game, if Baker Mayfield threw 4 interceptions in a game,
I honestly don't
Lamar
know
can get a pass on 4
so your
interceptions.
point is that he
He
outplayed
gets a
Lamar.
pass.
No,
He gets a pass on how he played
Lamar's
today.
not our quarterback. He doesn't
What
get a
I'm saying,
pass.
I'm
He
talking
won,
about
though.
quarterback performances.
You're talking about a winning
I'm
quarterback
talking
and a
about 20
losing
for
quarterback
32, 165 yards and 4 interceptions. That's good.
and 70 on the ground. No, nobody is going to tell you that Lamar had a good game, but at the end of the game, guess what he could do? He can make sure that his team was in position to win. What can
Who
our
said you
quarterback
can't
do?
compare the two at all? I'll compare a quarterback to a quarterback any day of the week.
Shout
Y'all
out to Swan City.
Ooh, man, y'all sound like uneducated.
We sound uneducated, but you're sitting up here defending Baker, and he's scored less than 20 points for the last month and a half.
A win is
But
always
you're
better.
blaming it on the receiver,
man. You know, sometimes I want to bite my tongue.
Look at what the Browns
because
got
what
us
you
doing.
guys say is like asinine. Of course, it's
I
better to
know.
get a win. But if you look at the stats between the two quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson had a horrible day.
Put up Oliver's comment, Jamal.
He got 2 fluke-ass passes off.
Let's rev him up
2
even more.
fluke ducks flying in the air, prayers. That's why Clowney threw his helmet on the ground. They're like, what else do we have to do? We got to throw him a lame duck, intercept the damn ball. Like, really? Really.
Now let's blame the defense. Let's blame the defense.
It ain't about blaming the defense. He's throwing lame ducks in the air, and y'all letting these guys still catch the freaking ball.
Right. So it's on the defense.
No, it's on Baker. When a lame duck gets thrown in the air and the tight end catches it, it's on Baker.
All right, so listen, where do we go from here? Because we run in circles. We've had this conversation a million times, especially over the last. We've had this
conversation because you Baker haters won't shut the hell up.
Right.
Just shut up.
We're gonna have a real short show.
Shutting up, please.
If you can relax.
Shut it up.
All right, so we're going into a bye week. This was a huge game
not
because
catching the damn ball.
If we would have won this game, we could have been in a nice position to half game back on both the Ravens and the Bengals, who we did beat.
I don't care about what Tamika Rashid is saying. Is she a Ravens fan? Why is she here?
Do you want to talk? Like, do you want to have a conversation? The Browns are going into a bye.
You're a Baker hater because you're one of them pitiful Browns fans who turn on their quarterbacks in a drop of a hat, and then cause the media destruction of the team. Y'all don't understand the point I be trying to get at. You destroy this team over and over again with this crap. You've done it for 20 years, since 99. Hating on the coaches, hating on the quarterbacks until management decides to get rid of them, and then you go in another direction, and then we suck again. Definition of insanity. Oliver's insane. Who else is insane? Anybody who want to keep talking the same rhetoric over and over again after 2 decades is freaking insane. I'll come for anybody I want to on this daggone podcast. Tamika. I ain't even ever seen her like leaving a comment before. You don't know me.
Thank you for watching, Tamika. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we appreciate you, but don't think I won't come for you when you talking some nonsense I don't agree with.
So the Browns are going into a bye week. This was a big game, but we do have an opportunity to get this game back with a weird schedule quirk. We go into the bye week, then we come back and
Tamika watch
play.
football once every month.
Then we
She
play
knows.
the Ravens again. What do you think we should be doing, man, moving forward? I mean, do you think we still got a real opportunity? Let me bring up the standings to get into this postseason, as there is a lot of parity in the NFL this year. The good teams have been taking some L's, so things can still get mixed up. And if the Browns do throw a monkey wrench in this thing by stealing a win against the Ravens after this bye week, I mean, things could get interesting. But I mean, what are your realistic expectations for the remainder of this season?
I don't have realistic expectations for the remainder of the season. I understand we're struggling right now. You know what I'm saying? But the redundant quarterback situation ain't the issue is we got to win some games.
Yes,
And
I would agree with
when the Case Keenum ain't going to make here Twine still. Y'all better play Case Keenum because when Case Keenum throws it, they'll catch it. Okay? They'll catch the ball when Case Keenum throws it rather than when it's Baker Mayfield because like Maddie said, the locker room is divided. Maybe they're dropping the balls on purpose because they want Baker to fail. I don't know. Your conspiracy theory because of you know who not being here no more. You know what I'm saying? She said, "Don't come for me, real talk." What is she mad?
I bet she's wondering the same thing about you. So what are you thinking
No,
about the
I
rest of this?
just like to talk trash, huh? What do I think about what?
What do you think about the Browns? Because we talk about the Browns on this show. We don't attack our commenters. So what do you think about the Browns moving forward? I mean, is this moving into, let's prep for the offseason mode? Maybe we can come
I'm
back
done
next
talking to
year.
me. Huh?
The division is still lightweight up for grabs. So it's not over yet, but
Well,
we got
I
to
say
start
this.
scoring some points if we want to have a realistic chance of winning some games.
Well, I think we were hurt by the fact that Higgins wasn't there. He's a reliable target for Baker Mayfield. He was inactive today. I think Baker Mayfield needs to have his guys out there with him. You understand what I'm saying? And I just think I'm really looking at the coaches on this, man. Did you see what happened when Lamar threw 4 interceptions? What did they do? They said, you know what? He ain't throwing it no more. We gonna run. We gonna run it with Lamar. We gonna run it with the other guys, and Lamar is just not gonna throw it because he out here effing up. Our coach don't do that. Our coach don't look at a passing game and say, okay, this isn't working. We need to try something else. He's like, I want to force the issue. So if you don't have a coach that understands how to adjust in games, it seems like you have a good game plan starting off. When that fails, it's like you're you're a hamster running on the wheel. You don't know what to do next. And that's what it seems like Kevin Stefanski is like fishing for. What do I do through the game? I don't know what to stick with. When the run game is working on a drive, I go away from it. Yes, they were stopping our run, but there were times when the run game actually worked. He went away from it. I don't understand. I don't know. I really think he should give up the play calling to, Van Pelt and see where it goes. What's it going to hurt? We're still 500. We're still in the hunt. No AFC teams are really taking off. We could be a wild card team still, but they got to figure out a better script of plays. When the defense shows up like that, you gotta do better on offense. Everybody, including Baker Mayfield when he's off on throws, receivers when they should catch the ball, play calling when it should be right in certain situations. There's a lot of blame to go here. I'm not just heaping it all on the quarterback like everybody wants to do every single time. I can't. When I see receivers dropping the ball, that's it.
All right, so we disagree on that. You're placing a majority of the blame on the coach.
Twine still said Hunt had momentum, then stopped and was out until late. Right. Hunt was doing good. Then they stopped even bringing him on the field. This is the type of coaching situations I'm talking about. If the man is having success, why do you go away from that? That doesn't make sense to me. Twan Steele is right. Why would you go away from something that's working?
Let me give you Kareem Hunt's numbers again. 7 carries for 20 yards.
I don't care about the numbers. That the numbers are gonna sound like that because you went away from him. That's my point.
I'm just giving.
We didn't see Kareem Hunt in the whole third quarter.
My point is that they went away from them because they weren't working. If your running game is only getting you 2 yards a carry, it's not working. So when it's 3rd and long, you can't keep handing the ball off. You have to throw it sometimes.
Did you
at
hear
the
what
end
Twan
of the
said?
day?
He said at the moment that Kareem Hunt had momentum.
Yes, you guys are just you're recalling from what you watched. I'm telling you what the stats are. 7 carries for Kareem, 8 carries for Nick. They both had 20 or less yards total. They weren't ineffective. When you were watching the game, you might have seen them have 1 or 2 good runs in a 5-minute.
Kareem Hunt had a whole good drive.
In a 5-minute period. No, you didn't, because he only had 20 yards on the day. He only had 20 yards on the day.
It was all in one drive.
Okay, so then when they kept
going, they stopped giving him the ball.
So how did he get 7 carries then? He got 7 carries on one drive?
He got about 4 of them on that drive.
And he had a 2-yard average. He didn't do good. He had 1 or 2 good runs.
You're not listening to what we're saying.
I am
Go ahead.
Move
on. Move on. Next
fam,
thing.
Fam.
You want to look at final stats and just root it by that.
Because
I'm looking at situations in games.
Stats tell you what happened in the game.
That's why you're not a coach.
Okay, so why aren't you a coach?
I've been a coach.
You talking to me?
I've coached at least a team to a championship.
And you sitting here talking to me about the game.
I'm just telling you, I've coached. You did
great. Congratulations. You talking to me about this game right now?
Or GM, you would F a team up.
All right, man. All right. Okay. We disagree.
With your knee-jerk, emotional ass reactions.
Listen,
going away from stuff that works.
All right. You got it.
Kareem Hunt's name should have been
coach of the year.
The
coach of the year of 2020 just suddenly forgot how to call plays. He suddenly forgot how to call plays. The 2020 AP Coach of the Year suddenly forgot how to call plays in the NFL, and the hazardous one has a better understanding on what to do.
You know, when can we bring up history, Matt? When can we bring up history? When it's convenient for your argument?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Can we talk about the past or no?
I don't know. It's midnight though, so we can wrap this.
I'm just saying.
That's fine. We're at 20 minutes. It's midnight. Let's wrap.
No, I want B Bomber to get his comment in, because we don't hear from B Bomber much. You can run multiple formations to help your run game, but Kevin's offense has not scored over 20 points in how long? You know what I'm saying? Oliver, has when Chubb and Hunt were hurt. What did he say? Right. We got Chubb, Hunt, and Dearness Johnson. Most coaches would use those guys consistently. Screen passes, misdirection, 2 running backs in the backfield at the same time, so you don't necessarily know who's getting the ball. That's a rushing attack, not run the ball into a crowded.
How about you?
Not run the line into a crowded box
resumes
and
together.
then say, you know what, that didn't work, so let's just pass from here.
You and Oliver, get your resumes together and send them down to Berea. Get you guys on the coaching staff, and then you guys can fix Baker Mayfield, who threw 50% of completed passes today against in the biggest game of the season.
And receivers dropped the ball.
Right.
In crucial parts of the game.
It's a bye week next week. We'll figure out a schedule for what we do in terms of running an episode of Matt and Matt. And then we come right back to those Baltimore Ravens again in 2 weeks. You lose that game, and the season is basically over. So that will be the biggest game of the season if we still have any aspirations of going to the playoffs. Who knows? Baltimore could lose in Pittsburgh next week. They're going to be playing a pretty pissed off team, as Pittsburgh got whooped on by the Bengals earlier today. But I don't know. I don't know if I see that happening.
I just like that everybody on the final comments were agreeing with me.
Congratulations.
On the way out.
Get a nice bonus for this episode.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you for everybody that tuned in. Kimberly, we appreciate your comment. Oliver, B1 Bomber, my dog, Twan City, Edward, we appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
And we'll be back soon.
Yeah. Well, for Matt and Matt Sports, I'm DJ Hazmat.
I'm Eddie Wills.
We out.